There we go. Supposed to be live now. O ahí cerca. Está live. Buenas noches, son las 9:12 de esta hermosa noche en la nación puertorriqueña. Mi nombre es Manolo Sánchez y esto es Probando Fuerza Live. Como todos los martes, la cara del pulso en Puerto Rico, Manolo Sánchez, trayéndole noticias y situaciones y de todo. Hoy tenemos un programa especial porque tenemos dos invitados bien importantes que son Kevinpalko y John Terrian de Canadá en Ohio, Cleveland. Pero ellos van a entrar a las 9:30. Yo quería pues tomar esta oportunidad ya que está Andre right here with us. Y Carly, saluden. Say hi, Andre. Say something for the people.
Buenas noches, Corillo, a todos los que nos estén viendo de Latinoamérica y ahora en Canadá y USA.
Say hi to the people that's watching, Andre.
Hey guys, how you doing? We're gonna have Kevin today and John, so it's gonna be good. It's gonna be nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Anyway, antes de comenzar y de que John y Kevin entren, quería obviamente abrir el programa en español para la gente que nos está viendo y eso, y hablar de las premiaciones que anuncié esta semana, comenzando la semana, que fueron los galardones de Pulseo TV. Y nada, vamos a empezar con los pulseadores del año. Yo tomé la decisión por el agradecimiento del sacrificio y el trabajo que ha hecho el señor Joe Cortés, dedicarle el premio al pulseador del año que lleva el nombre de Joe Cortés. Así que de este año en adelante, el premio del pulseador del año es el premio Joe Cortés. ¿Y quiénes fueron los ganadores de este premio este año? Pues este año tenemos en el brazo derecho el señor Miguel Rosa, que se mantuvo todo el año en primer lugar, y estuvo activo, y debido a las puntuaciones que acumuló durante el año, su actividad, y entiendo que no perdió ningún encuentro este año, creo. Entiendo que no perdió ningún encuentro este año, pues por su trabajo, su dedicación y sacrificio por el deporte, pues también él se le otorgó el premio al pulseador del año en el brazo derecho, muy bien merecido. Él es un hombre que trabaja mucho, tanto en lo personal como en lo deportivo. Es una persona que trabaja para el deporte desinteresadamente. Y pues más adelante lo vamos a tener en el programa la semana que viene, que vamos a hacer, vamos a tener otros invitados más, pero esperamos que pueda compartir con nosotros Miguel en algún momento, y pues no creo que podamos hacer una ceremonia de entregarle los premios, pero van a ver algunos videos de la entrega de una plaquita y eso a Miguel. Y pues en el brazo izquierdo yo creo que no tengo ni que decir quién se ganó el premio al pulseador del año con el brazo izquierdo, que es ¿tú conoces quién fue que ganó, Carly?
Sorry guys, by accident.
Preguntar a Andy.
Do you know the guy that won the award for best arm wrestler left-handed? Do you know him?
Can you repeat again?
The guy that won the left-handed arm wrestler of the year in Puerto Rico. Do you know the guy?
Of course.
Pues Carly Velázquez fue la persona agraciada con el galardón del pulsador del año con el brazo izquierdo. Yo creo que la gente que sigue el deporte en Puerto Rico no hay que decirle mucho el porqué. Carly lleva en el primer lugar en los rankings del brazo izquierdo en Puerto Rico por el que le sigue más cerca creo que es Sadiel, y es por, ¿sabes? Carly está por encima en cuestión de puntos. Carly tiene demasiado, más de 20 puntos por encima, porque pues Carly, yo creo que pierde nunca ha perdido un supermatch con el brazo izquierdo, más que con Richard Caro en Cali Rican, pero contra puertorriqueños como tal, con gente que está aquí en Puerto Rico y que compiten y entrenan en Puerto Rico, Carly nunca ha perdido un supermatch, y ha salido victorioso en todos los encuentros que ha tenido, la gran mayoría de los encuentros que ha tenido en los torneos y eso. Y Carly Velázquez es la persona que se ganó el bien merecido premio de pulseador del año en Puerto Rico con el brazo izquierdo. Carly, ¿tienes algo de decir?
Ahora me voy a tirar ¿cómo que se llama? El chamaco Adam, el que fue para el versus West.
Wasinski. Look at the film.
No me sorprende, no me sorprende.
Don't ask no questions. Just look at the film. Look at the film and you'll find out.
Algo así. No me sorprende. He preparado súper bien para esto. El año que viene estaba aquí repitiendo de nuevo.
Exacto. Ya lleva 2 años de cogido como el pulsador del año con el brazo izquierdo, Carly. Y Miguel es la primera vez que gana el pulsador del año, pero yo creo que puede repetir varias veces más por su compromiso y su dedicación, que siempre está activo y eso, tú sabes. El novato del año el escogido fue Adam Hernández, de Guaynabo. Adam es un muchacho joven que está bien comprometido con el deporte, está bien activo. La decisión fue tomada para que Adam fuera el novato del año, porque Adam estuvo activo en todas las competencias que hubo durante el año. Ganó unas, perdió otras, logró lograr el rango de profesional con el brazo izquierdo, pero Adam estuvo activo todo el año en todas las competencias y yo premio eso, ¿sabes? Eso hay que agradecerlo y esa es lo que hay que premiar, ¿sabes? El compromiso y la participación de los atletas en los eventos de donde quiera que sean, ya que pues eso demuestra el respaldo al deporte en la isla. Luego de eso, tenemos el premio de superación del año, que fue otorgado al joven Jonathan Viera de Manatí. Y el premio de superación es cuando tú tienes un atleta que logra mejorar sustantivamente en el deporte, ¿sabes? Jonathan, aunque lleva varios años en el deporte, Jonathan ha estado on y off, pero este año pues encontró su motivación nuevamente, se ha dedicado y de los 6 eventos oficiales que hubo en Puerto Rico, participó en 6 y siempre ha dicho que sí, siempre ha dicho presente, si no participa llega a ver, siempre respalda, siempre está apoyando a todo el mundo, es un buen muchacho, un muchacho joven, un muchacho bueno, tiene un futuro bien prometedor y por eso fue que se escogió a Jonathan Viera como el premio de superación del año 2022 de Pulseo TV. Y para terminar, se escogió la revelación del año, que es pues nada más y nada menos que uno de los Núñez, del clan Núñez, Sebastián Núñez, que participó solamente 2 veces este año en 2 competencias, en las 2 competencias de novato que hizo el caballero aquí, Carly Velázquez, y aunque en la primera no le fue tan bien, en la segunda ganó los 2 brazos y ganó el rango de profesional en ambas manos, y pues eso hay que reconocerlo, tú sabes, fue la revelación del año, un muchacho joven, lo único que tiene son 19 años, muchacho grande, fuerte, habilidoso, y tiene una proyección gigantesca dentro del deporte del pulseo si se mantiene practicándolo, porque él es un atleta natural, ¿sabes? Juega baloncesto, juega otros deportes, es un atleta natural y de verdad bien merecido el reconocimiento. Andrew, you want to say something about the awards you know about Jonathan, about Sebastián, Adam, Carly, Miguel?
Yeah, Sebastian, I remember him last time he competes against other guys. So this time I saw him like young guy, very strong, very competitive, like he getting better and better. Every time I see him. So he's gonna be a champ in the future. I know.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely he's going to be a champ in the future. He's a force to be reckoned with. And I'm really happy that there are athletes in Puerto Rico with his size starting in the sport, and and starting to become and let down being known of it, of their existence and performance. Because in Puerto Rico, even though we got strong guys, we're not really that big. Like me, I'm only 5'11". Carly is like what, 6'1". ¿Cuánto tú mides, Carly? 6'1", 6'2".
Sí, exacto.
Carly is 6 pies. Carly is 6 foot tall. And in the heavyweights division, we are really small guys, and Sebastian is like 6'4", he's a really big guy.
He's a big guy. Also,
So,
Adam, I'd like to congratulate
Javier
Adam.
también, el otro que
yeah, he's big too. You were saying, Andrew?
I'd like to say congratulations to Adam to become Rock of the Year. He's really good. He's doing well, and he's gonna be better and better. And one day he's gonna be champion of, I don't know, maybe Puerto Rico, maybe world, maybe USA. Who knows?
Maybe North America. There's some things going on.
Yeah.
And we are trying to direct arm wrestling in Puerto Rico to a way that it's organized under one banner, so people start walking the same path, in the same line, in the same direction. So the community finds harmony, and and because in Puerto Rico there's always been like disorganization in the sport, because we don't have one ruling body, and we're so close of doing that. And I hope that God bless us and helps us achieve that goal, Andre. And because it's been tough couple of days, and we just want to keep moving forward, ignoring the bad things.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, pues Carly, es verdad, tú tienes razón. Javier es el otro único muchacho que es lo suficientemente grande, tú sabes, 6'5". Y si dedicara más, lo que pasa es que como ellos trabajan en construcción y cuestión, pues yo sé que ellos no tienen la energía y el de esto de entrar a un gimnasio, entonces pero si se dedicara a eso, yo sé que tendría una proyección igual de grande que Sebastián. So, estamos en eso. Pues ya son las 9:25 de la noche, estamos a 5 minutos. Cali, si tú quieres hablar de algo y eso, en lo que yo voy enviándole los links a John y a Kevin, si quieres discutir algo, yo te estoy escuchando.
No, en verdad, tranquilo, muchas cosas nuevas. Y ansioso que llegue el 2023 ya. Este año fue súper bueno en el deporte. Se hicieron varias competencias, ¿verdad? Todo un éxito, nuevos talentos. Yo siento que también fui parte de ese proceso, Sebastián, porque las únicas competencias que se pudieron hacer de novato las hice yo, y fue donde él se destacó y participó. Y eso funciona, ¿verdad? Más adelante, para que los muchachos sigan haciendo competencias para novatos, porque miren, ya ven los talentos que siguen naciendo a través de esas competencias. Pero independientemente agradecido con Dios por todo, de verdad. Muchas bendiciones, muchas cosas nuevas.
Eso así, Carly, eso así. We got something. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Welcome to the show, Probando Fuerza, which in English is testing your strength, test your frame, to Mr. Kevinpalko. How you doing, Kevin?
Good. Appreciate you guys having me.
I'm so happy you're here. First of all, I wanna we can't see your face. Like you have some light or something that can light your face. We cannot see it that well.
Yeah, let me see what I can do.
Anyway, while you're dealing with that, I just want to say thank you, because you've been so nice and so kind to me and to this platform these last couple of days. about the events of when Titans collide, and the match with Richard, and I just want to say thank you, and that's the main reason I invited you here to share a conversation with us about the sport and about everything you do, but because ladies and gentlemen, and everyone that's watching all around the world, Latin America, United States, Canada, this guy is one of the strongest 155 in the world, and he's really young. How old are you, Kevin?
28.
He's 28 years old. He's really young, and he's really strong. And if you guys go to his channel, his arm wrestling channel, and you see the videos he has on training, I started watching, and they blew my mind, because I did some stuff that I didn't even know I was doing the things Kevin does in training. And I felt those things made me strong, but at some point I left them behind. And watching Kevin and the way he trains and everything he does, it clicked, and that's how you get strong. And I want to stop what I'm saying, and I want to say hello and welcome to the man, the savage, John Terrian from Canada. How you doing, John?
Doing good, yourself?
Well, we're happy because I'm really excited, because I have two of the biggest names in North America in our show right now. We got Kevinpalko. I don't know if you know about Kevin.
Yeah, I've been following him. He's a beast.
Yeah, he's a beast. He's a strong guy, And we got John Terrian with his number one guy. I mean, I've followed your career. You've been everywhere, almost everywhere, and you're really strong. And you're such a nice guy and such a sportman, man. I know I was cheering and rooting for Noel this past week, because Noel's my boy. He's from Puerto Rico, and you took it
For sure.
nice and friendly. You didn't get no angry or nothing. Because it's all good fun. You know what I'm saying? So you
Exactly,
are a gentleman in this sport.
Thank you. You have to be, right? You have to be humble.
Yeah.
It's okay to talk a bit of trash, but you still have to respect people, right?
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Yeah. I want to introduce you to my man, Andre. He's from Ukraine, but he lives in Puerto Rico. And he's
Hey, buddy.
an up-and-coming arm wrestler from Puerto Rico. And we got our guy, Carly Velasquez, who is the number one left-handed arm wrestler in Puerto Rico right now.
Nice.
And he's a pretty, strong guy. He's only been arm wrestling for like 3 years, and he's getting up there. So I wanted to start this conversation between us all by saying thank you to both Kevin and John for being so nice and so kind to me and this platform. And we're happy, we're happy that you are successful in this sport. Even though John beat Noel, I'm happy that John won, because this opens up more opportunities for arm wrestlers in North America and even in America as a whole. And I want to talk first about how that match with Noel came through. Who got the idea, who made the matchup, who did all that.
So it all started. I've been to a couple of events where Chance Shaw was at. And he's been telling me to come to Florida to, just to come visit. And he says, I'll set you up with a match with one of our top guys here in Florida. So, and then when I heard the Florida State Championship was happening, I'm like, shit, that's like the best time to go. So then he's like, he wanted to set me up with Artem at first, but Artem was too busy, whatever. And so he's like, I'm going to set you up with Noel. He's number one at 198 in Florida. So I was honestly pretty stressed out going to this match.
I know you were. I know.
Oh yeah. I don't usually pull at 198, so that was a big step up for me. So I'm very happy.
What was your weight the day of the match?
So I managed to gain some weight. So like I was 190. Like if I removed like 3 pounds of clothes, I was about 193, 194. I'm not sure what Noel was weighing at. I think he was pretty much the same weight as me.
Yeah, Noel always walks around 190, 200 pounds maybe, but he's not a heavy. He's never been over 200 pounds. Even though when he pulled Adam Wosimski, which we're going to talk about that because those were wars, and we all know where Adam's at now.
Yeah.
He put up a better match against Adam than he did with you, and to me that tells me something.
Yeah, for sure.
It tells me that like you're really fucking strong.
Yeah, for sure. So my side, I think what Noel had trouble with, it's my side pressure. A lot of people have trouble. So like I'm all side pressure. I don't go back pressure very much. So a lot of people have trouble catching that, and because I go crazy with the hits too. So it could be pretty hard to stop. But Noel has that sticky hook down here, which I can understand. If someone doesn't have that pressure down here to finish the match off, I think that's why they would have trouble against Noel. But yeah, that's my opinion.
If any of you guys, Kevin, Andre, Carly, have any questions, just ask them. Interrupt us. Just ask it. So about that, I've only pulled Noel once. No, and I know I'm strong. But the thing that he does, I mean, like I'm 280. I'm not a 200 pounds. I'm 280 pounds. But that thing he does like a sort of what John Percent calls a J hook, like that, and that's to prevent the low hand top roll, and that's really hard to control, And me being 280 and as strong as I know I am, I couldn't handle Noel, and to see a guy like yourself beating him like it was a war, because it was a war. It wasn't easy, but you won convincingly. You know what I'm saying? It tells me that you are a level above everybody else, and that Noel is not that far behind, and that's good for the Puerto Rican community of arm wrestling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
And so you went to the match. That first round, how did it feel when you grip up with Noel for the first time?
So basically, I just walked up to the table. I was stressed as hell. So and then when I gripped him, that's when I started feeling more confident. So a lot of people don't like. I have a lot of meat here on my thumb, so they have trouble getting a good grip on me. Yeah, exactly. So they have trouble getting a good grip on me, and I just post high, even though I'm going into hook. I like to kind of high hook when I get into position at first. So I think he felt very uncomfortable with that grip. So I managed to hit first, like kind of get where I want to be to prevent him from doing that low top roll like you're talking about and just drag down. So I managed to take him away from that sweet spot of his. So it worked out pretty good. But on the other hand,
you gotta be like really strong, have a really strong hand to pull that off with Noel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. So like on the left hand, and my left hand is not as strong as my right. I'd say like it's 75% the strength is my right. So what I tried to do with the left first hand, the first match, I tried to go on the outside. He was just too strong there. He just flashed me.
But you put up a fight in the second round.
Yeah, exactly. So I switched it up from the first round. I tried to go on the inside instead. So like I had him almost down, but like I said earlier, he has such a strong hold right at the bottom. My left hand just didn't have enough power to finish him off. So, and then that burned me out completely.
Yeah, I know the kind of side pressure that Noel has on his left hand, and I was amazed the way you held him, and like he gave you some big surges, and you fought him off. You held him.
Yeah, I'm pretty. So I have I'd say I have maybe more endurance on the left hand than my right. It's just like I said, strength wise, my right hand's way more dominant.
Yeah. Kevin, you saw the matches with Noel and John, right?
Yeah, I did.
What are your opinion on those matches, and anything you want to add to what we're saying?
Yeah, so I'll talk about the right-handed match first. I think John's biggest strength was, even though he was a hook puller, his biggest strength was his pronation and his shoulder commitment. Because if you've seen, I seen a couple times that Noel actually won the hit, but he was ending up palm up and on his bicep. I think that's because John was able to get his shoulder behind first, and then he was able to open up Noel's bicep by dragging back with the pronation. So even though they were both in a hook match, John was able to take it, I think, because of those two reasons.
Yeah, most definitely. I noticed that too. The way John, I don't know if it was his plan, but the way John attacked his bicep,
Yep.
and you know, it got into his weakness, you know.
For sure. And I know John is like he was saying earlier, his surges when he just goes and hits, that's got to be hard for Noel to stop. So
Yeah, and pretty much when you palm up and you're just holding with your bicep, and you hit, you know, it's hard to fight that off.
Oh, for sure.
It doesn't give you time to like regroup or adjust to the match, you know. And to me personally, I believe in constant pressure. But if a guy dominates that technique of small surges and, you know, keep gaining, you know, it's killer for any inside puller. You know, you got to have a lot of strength and endurance.
That's what I was going to say. If John was just a static puller and he just hooked Noel and was holding him in an offensive position, that could give Noel a chance to start pulling back, maybe use some back pressure and try to get through John's hand. But because John just kept surging, that never allowed Noel to get back in the match.
Yeah, absolutely right. And on the left hand, how do you saw that match on the left hand?
For John or for me?
No, for John, the match between Noel and I don't know, I'm talking to you, Kevin. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'm not sure how, like, if Noel's strength is his left arm or if John's was his left arm, but it just seemed Noel was a little bit faster, and I don't think John's pronation was able to hold up like it was on his right arm, because as soon as Noel hit, I seen John get turned over, and the matches were a lot quicker. So, I just don't think John was able to withstand the hit of Noel.
And Noel's left hand is way stronger than his right. You know.
Okay.
Even I think they're not that, like, Noel is really strong all around, you know, but he does always better on his left than his right. I don't really know, is it because other guys are weaker or he's just overall stronger? I know I can't handle his either arm. I cannot handle him, you know. But you know, like everybody say, nobody cares about left. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so that's the question. But either way, Noel has always done better with his left than his right. Even his brother Sadiel, he's always done better with his left than his right. You know.
Right.
Go ahead, Kevin. Go ahead.
Yeah, does Noel have any type of like bodybuilding background, or does he with powerlifting, anything like that?
Well, Noel, he has. I've known Noel since he was 16 years old, and he played a lot of basketball.
Oh wow.
He has never been like this kind of bodybuilding type or gym rat. You know, has you know, doing bench and all that stuff. The way he trains is all about arm wrestling. You know, his arms, back pressure, pronation, all those stuff. He's not a guy like that, like he squats, deadlifts, or anything like that. He just the training I've seen him do is anything that's do with arm wrestling handle, or you know, or heavy dumbbell rows or pull-ups with weight. You know, he trains specifically for arm wrestling in the gym. You know, I've not seen him like a lot doing all those handles and all that stuff that we all know of, you know.
Yeah.
But still, he has a good background because he started at 16 years old, and he started with some pretty strong guys in Puerto Rico that knew that what they were doing, and he like kind of picked up a little bit from every style of the island, and he's like the perfect combination of every style of arm wrestling in Puerto Rico. You know, if you give a chance to Noel to top roll, he will top roll you. If he can, like you said, pronate out of side pressure, he will if you give him a chance, you know, because he's so well rounded.
Sure.
The guys I've seen him lose to that are not many, are guys like that are really, really strong, like John, like Adam, like this guy. Oh, what's the guy? This other guy though. Oh, damn, he lost to him in the Kentucky Muscle. Then Artem beat him like easily. He's like number 4 in North America on the United States. I forgot his name. But you know, the guys that beat Noel are guys that everybody knows that are really, really strong. You know,
Right.
And there are like John right here. We after watching him in Arm Wars, and you have had matches with Coach Ray and Fraud, right?
Yes.
And I think you won those matches, or you went 1-on-1.
So against Frode, I won 4-0, and then so the way it works in Arm Wars, you still have to pull the 6 match regardless.
Okay.
So I pulled the 6 matches, and then they put me up against Coach Ray 20 minutes after. That's something that wasn't told to people. So I'm really looking to have a rematch with Coach Ray. I think it'd be a totally different outcome, not taking away anything from him. He's a very strong dude. But yeah, overall, Arm Wars was amazing. So great experience.
So, in that line, what people are talking or saying is that there's something in the works towards that line of Coach Ray and that stuff. People are saying a match between this man, John Terrian, and Giannis, the Jedi, has to be done. We gotta have that match, right?
Yeah, so like I'm still in reach for 176-pound class, and that's usually what Giannis pulls. So right now I'm working on getting a match with Corey Miller. It's looking very promising for
With Corey Miller,
January. Right? Yeah. So that's what I'm aiming for first, and then we'll see. I want to see how the outcome of that match works first, and then if that works out, Giannis could be a match in the future that would be very interesting, and it could possibly a match at Arm Wars if I ever go back. But yeah, so right now I'm focusing on trying to get a match with Corey, just to hopefully get him off the first spot in 176 in North America.
But Kevin, you know Corey, right? Because you were in the U.S. team in Worlds last summer, right?
Yeah, I met Corey a few times, and Worlds was one of the times I met him.
Yeah, and what weight is he pulling right now? 165 or 175?
I believe 176. Yep.
176. So he moved up in weight.
He did.
And we saw the match in the Arm Sports Entertainment. I think it was Louisiana. I don't remember. Where he met with Giannis.
Mm-hmm.
Corey and Giannis. You remember that match?
I do.
Talk us through what you saw on that match between Giannis and Corey, because if you know, Kevin is really good in these things, you know, and knowledgeable, you know.
Right. Yeah, I mean, they call him Corey Flash Miller for a reason, because his hit is so fast. And I was kind of concerned that if Giannis was able to stop that hit, that Corey was going to be in trouble. And then I believe it was the first round, Corey did flash him. And I had some pretty good hopes that Corey might win the match. But I mean, we all know Giannis is one of the best lightweight pullers in the world. He was able to adjust. I think he went in for, if I'm not mistaken, I think they got to the straps. And then Giannis was just able to hold that low hand top roll. And then if Corey wasn't able to get the flash, he started burning out. And I think that was his biggest problem. And Giannis is just too good that once that match stopped, he was just way too technical, and Corey wasn't able to stand up to it.
Yeah, you saw that match, John?
No, I haven't actually. But I know that Giannis, for a fact, has crazy amount of back pressure. So that's why I think Corey Miller would be a better match to start with. I'll see, because I'm still trying to know where my strength is against the top guys. So if I can pass through Corey Miller, that means I'm ready for Giannis, basically.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I think John's style is a lot harder for both Corey and Giannis, because both Corey and Giannis are both top rollers and back pressure. If you can just drive them sideways and get on their elbow, I mean, you could be some trouble for them.
Yeah, exactly. That's always exactly what I was thinking, because when you see, like I share the opinion that Kevin has, like Corey lives and dies with his hit, and people don't really know, like, you gotta be, to have that hit, you also have to be really, really strong to have that kind of hit. Because to have that hit, you gotta feel really confident in the setup.
Yeah, so one of the reasons I feel confident that I know I can stop his hit, the only guy that can hit harder and faster than him, it's Allen the Hit Ford, and I can manage to stop him. So pulling with Allen, it's kind of a good practice to go against Corey.
Yeah, actually, you're really, really right. Like, if anyone hits harder or as hard as Corey is the hitman. You know, they call him the hitman for a reason. And
yeah, it's crazy.
yeah, that's the reason. And with that match between Corey and Giannis, I remember I did a podcast with Corey Miller right before the match, and I was telling him that I worried about the straps. You know, I told him that if he could manage to be out of the strap and, you know, keep the control with his head, he was going to be able to win. But what would happen if they got up into the straps? Because that was what I was worried about. And he said that he was training that, but still that felt to be his weakness on the match, being on the strap. And Giannis, like Kevin's saying, that back pressure, like Corey hit, and Giannis didn't even fight the hit. He just went back and stopped.
Yeah, back pressure.
And then readjust and, you know, got him to his side, you know. So that match, if it comes to that between you and Corey, it would be a really, really good, interesting match. Technical match.
I really think so. I think I'm pretty sure it would end up in the hook. So if Corey can stop because I always hit a few hits right off the goal. So it all depends. If Corey can stop those, then it will end up into a freaking grinder. So it could be a really, really interesting match, in my opinion.
Yeah. I share your opinion, and I believe Corey pulled Noel once, and Corey won, but, you know, Noel put up a fight, you know, and I think that was 2 years ago. So I believe that is a really good way to go if you can get that match with Corey first, to know where you stand, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
And it would be even better that if you find a way to beat Corey, and that match with Giannis would be on East versus West. That would be perfect.
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely a place I'd like to be in the future. I'm just trying to climb slowly. I can't jump the line. I have to arm wrestle like everyone else. So
yeah, I also would love to see Kevinpalko on East versus West at some point, you know, to prove who's the really good 155 out there, because this man has hands of stone or steel or something, you know.
Man,
show the hand, Kevin. Show your hands. Look at that. Timer's hand.
That's right.
Andre, you're so quiet.
awesome.
You want to ask something
like
to the guys?
Like, I listen some Beethoven or Mozart. I like it talking. I really like it.
Actually, Andre,
Yeah,
right now
I mean,
it's 176, right?
185.
185, but you're around that way. And Andre is really strong, and he
195.
you know he has the belt for the weight class. He's not a small guy, you know. He's pretty tall and has a thick hand, you know. And I believe he can do some damage on the division if he gets some more experience and, you know, more gets to arm wrestle more, because in Puerto Rico we have the problem that we are a small island. Our community is really small, and there's like, it's difficult for us to set up events because we end up having always the same guys, you know, and people get bored, you know, and it's a little difficult for us.
See, I really like what you said. Going to events like at table time, I believe that's the key to become better. Like, people work out all the time and whatever. I have 3 dumbbells here, my arm wrestling table. That's all I need. Table time, going to events. I think that's the real key.
Like right now, the biggest part of our community in Puerto Rico are the amateurs. You know, there are more amateurs than there are guys at pro level, right? And like for me, like I haven't competed competitively in a tournament for like 15 years, you know, because I say I'm strong because I'm strong at practice, but I in ready goals I'll be destroyed because I haven't been on that scenario for so long that you know, it's not the same thing where you go on practice and you pull and you go slowly. When you get ready go from 0 to 100, you know, that's a whole different thing, the whole different aura and adrenaline and all that. And our amateurs, we are trying to provide that scenery, you know, have them busy competing, getting those ready goals and all that stuff, because that's the only way you get better, you know.
Very true.
Now, and talking about training and the way people do things, Kevin is a guy that puts up a lot of info on training, you know, and you can tell because he's one of the top guys at his weight and maybe heavier. And I don't know if we'll come to happen, but if there's an event in Puerto Rico where the guys from the United States will meet with guys from Puerto Rico, I talked about that that scenery, and I talked about it with Paul Lynn. You all know Paul Lynn, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
And he told me, if you're gonna get a match with Kevin, you gotta put him with someone way heavier than him. Because I don't believe in Puerto Rico there's a guy 160, 165 that can, you know, put up a fight against them. I don't know if you heard that, but I think it's true, you know.
So there's one guy. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, if I ever get a chance to come down to Puerto Rico, which I think something might be in the works, but we're still working on it, I'll be down to pull whoever. I mean, that'll just be a great opportunity. So,
you know, it would be fun. It would be fun.
Absolutely. I agree.
It would be really fun because, like, to find someone that can. I mean, when Pauline says stuff like that, you take it seriously. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Pauline knows what he's talking about.
He knows what he's talking about, you know. And we all know Kevin is really strong, and he is really strong because of his background of rock climbing and the way that he trains. And I was watching one of your videos that you were talking about tendon strength and the way to develop it.
Yeah.
And I haven't heard or seen anybody approach it the way that you did. And I know you did it because of your background rock climbing.
Yep.
But everything you said, it makes sense. And I would like you to elaborate on that for the people and the amateurs that are watching us tonight.
Yeah. So I started rock climbing about 11 years ago. And I was a rock climber for about 4 or 5 years before I ever even arm wrestled. So I guess we'll start with the goods of rock climbing and how it helped me with arm wrestling. Like you were saying, the building of the tendon strength is probably the number one thing, because if you look at a lot of rock climbers, they're not usually big muscular people. but they have the very thick tendons, and most rock climbers are 135 pounds to 160 pounds, and they're strong as hell. So the tendon strength from rock climbing is definitely huge. Some of the disadvantages of rock climbing, though, is it's an endurance sport. So I didn't have that explosivity. The pronation was always something that I lacked in the beginning, but it did build like the fundamental strength for arm wrestling, because everything corresponds with each other, the finger strength, the hand strength, the forearms. So if anybody can get into rock climbing, I definitely think it would benefit arm wrestling.
Now, I heard in an interview with Larry Wheels, John talk about the sports that would translate good to arm wrestling, and he mentioned two. I don't remember which was the other one, but the top one was rock climbing.
Yeah, the second one was baseball, rock climbing and baseball.
Rock climbing and baseball. Now, when I train, I started arm wrestling when I was 16 years old, and I arm wrestled before I was a powerlifter. I stopped arm wrestling to compete in powerlifting, and I was national champ in 2016 and 2019 in Puerto Rico. Then I got back to arm wrestling, but not competitively, just training. And I started this project of Pulseo TV to expose to the people of Puerto Rico that we still had arm wrestlers in the island, and to connect with other arm wrestlers in Latin America and the United States and the world. And, it's been good. Like, look, you guys are here with us, sharing, we're friends, we're bonding. And the same thing is happening all over Latin America through this platform of Pulseo TV. And when I trained, I have like a 2x4s, like glued together, like they're together, and I hand them on the ceiling, and I used to do pull-ups with that. And I remember when I did that for a couple of months, I felt really strong. And when I saw your video about the tendon strength in rock climbing, it clicked.
Yeah.
It clicked. That's why I commented you and saying, I'm going to reincorporate this in my training. Because even though if I don't have the tool you have of the things on the wall,
hang board.
Yeah, with that block of wood, I could like do pull-ups or holds with the full finger, the tip of half a finger or tip of the finger, and it works. And I did it on Sunday. And damn, it got me going,
Yeah.
And I'm going to incorporate that
for sure
and keep doing it again and telling it to the guys like Carly here and Andre here that are watching, that they got to stop. They got to start doing that shit.
Yeah.
Now, John, about this tendon strength thing we're talking and the training for it. Do you do some sort of training for that?
So my training is my job, basically. So I own a roofing and renovations company. So I lift heavy stuff all day. Bundles are freaking heavy. I walk up roofs with the rope. So it's not mountain climbing, but it's roof climbing. So like I'm always staying active. I work long hours. So like besides work, like I said, mostly table time. The odd nights when I do finish early from work, I'll do a quick bicep workout, or just with the bands, back pressure, side pressure. But yeah, I find table time, I try to kill my arms twice a week with my team I have here. So it just strengthens your tendons basically as you go.
Now, I want to make a stop here. We got a celebrity watching us. The guy from Performing Enhancing Pancakes just say hi to us. And I believe Pep is one of Devin's kids. I believe that Performing Enhancing Pancakes is one of Devin's kids. John, do you know anything about this guy? Because I love Pep.
I have no clue. They all have crazy names. So I mean, like people on YouTube, not Devin's kids.
But I believe. Come on, Pep, tell me, are you one of Devin's kids? Come on, just say it. Anyway, love your work. Thank you for watching. Now, we got a guy here in Puerto Rico. His name, like, he's the father of arm wrestling in Puerto Rico, the new wave of arm wrestling. His name is Joe Cortez, and he's a welder. His job is that welding, building houses, and all that stuff. And the guy is crazy strong because, like you, he works with his hands all day, and he's like crazy strong. And I remember Pat Hutchins once said to me that when you go to a tournament and you see a guy that like squeeze your hand really, 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 really hard, he says that's the amateur. He hasn't met Joe. Like, Joe has been arm wrestling a lot. Like, he's arm wrestling in New York and everybody being everywhere. And Joe, like Joe, when he grips up with you, he will tear your nail off. he like, come on, Andre, you have felt it, right?
Yeah, we had the practice actually last Sunday. Oh man,
But he squeezes like hard. Yeah, dude, I've seen him work, and you know, like this bag of cement is like 50 pounds, right? But it's not like oh, okay, this is 50 pounds, I'm gonna pick it up. You know, it moves, you know, because it's soft, because it's powder, right? But I've seen Joe grab that thing with his hand like that and just farmer walk with it like nothing, you know? And he doesn't have this such big of hand, but when he grip up and he squeeze your hand, you go like, and I don't care. I believe anyone will like go like shit because he squeezes hard, you know? And that's because of the kind of work that he does all day. Like right now, Joe could be working right now because he's always doing projects and making houses and building houses and all that, like you, John, you know? And you know, and when you work like that, you get strong.
I really believe it does make a difference of like what people does in general. Like Kevin was saying, rock climbing, huge benefit, roofing, mechanic, even iron worker. All the guys that works physically, I find they have an edge on the advantage of having a good grip, even bicep strength in general. So I think it does make a huge difference.
Yeah. Kevin, do you have any guys over there that work like John or Joe that are construction workers that train with you or you grip up with them?
I don't think anybody necessarily that I train with, but I've definitely pulled people at tournaments that I know have like a manual labor background and definitely have some of the strongest hands I've ever felt.
Yeah. And back in the day when I arm wrestled, when I like, you can tell a lot when you shake the hand of an arm wrestler, you know? And you knew who was who, you know, when you shook the hand of the guy or you just grip up to the first time, you feel that hard, you know, hard hand, you say like shit, because it's not only power, it's endurance, you know, because you guys are accustomed to grab a hammer and just keep going bam, 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 bam until you finish, you know, and you get a lot of rest, you know, and for any powerful arm wrestler, like let's say Todd Hutchins is like one of the strongest arms in the world. I bet that if he encounters a professional arm wrestler near his level that works in construction all day, he will have a hard day getting him to the pin pad just because of that, you know, that fact, the way they work and the way they do things. And I picked Todd Hutchins because Todd Hutchins is an engineer, you know, he works sitting down in a desk and technical stuff. He doesn't work really with his hands. Like he does things around the house and all that, but it's not a guy that is doing it every day, all day, you know. But he's strong, and I bet that if he comes across a guy like John or Joe or something that is near his level, that works in construction all day, he will have a long day trying to get him to the pad. Because back in my day when I used to arm wrestle, I pulled a couple of guys that worked with their hands. Like I remember they call him Bam Bam, Manuel Gerena. He was from Lares, Puerto Rico. He's an electrician. He you know, he worked with his hand every day, and he had a big hand. And to get him down, it was, damn, like it was hard. Like it was like rubber, like a hard rubber. You got him down here, and then came back up, down. It's hard. It's hard.
So I forgot to mention one of the jobs. So like I find one of the strongest type of people are farmers. I totally forgot about them.
Farmer. Like which the name of this guy, the guy that was on Game of Arms, Nick Cena.
Yeah.
He's a really strong guy. He has a farm boy, strength. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and like you can just never arm wrestle in his life. Let's say you bring him to the table, he'll just naturally be strong.
Yeah, that's definitely right. And my dad actually was a farmer, and he arm wrestled back in the day, and still at 70 some years old, his hands are like rock solid. And he obviously he's
I
old.
believe
He
it.
doesn't work like that no more. But his hands, you can see the struggles of working, as a farmer, and his hands, they're really strong.
And that's the thing with the tendons too, is
Yeah.
tendons usually don't diminish. So as you get older, like you said, a 70-year-old person is still going to have that rock solid hand, where like say a bodybuilder who retires, they just lose all the muscle and they don't have that strength anymore.
Yeah.
But the tendons, they seem to stay with you for a long time.
Crazy George is a good example of that.
Exactly.
Performing Enhancing Pancake says that he's pretty sure Kevin's mustache is stronger than most people's hands.
Oh, fuck yeah.
It is turning into a full beard at this point, but the mustache.
No, you look good with the mustache. You're bringing back the 80s mustache.
For sure.
That's good. That's good. We need that in this world.
For
we need manly mustaches, testosterone mustaches. We need that shit.
Yeah, they're definitely not around like they used to be.
Yeah. And
so he just needs the mullet now?
well,
I wish I could.
Oh, you lost the mullet. Oh, yeah, I remember you had a mullet, right?
Yeah, for a little bit, but my line of work didn't allow me to have a mullet. So,
but talking about that, the mullet thing, you had the mullet back when you went to the Worlds, right?
Yeah, I did. Yep.
Yeah. And did that have some sort of effect in your performance?
It made me about 20% strong. If I had the mullet and the mustache, no doubt I would have been world champion that year.
Yeah. I'm telling you, you would have the mustache, you would have been world champion, man.
For sure.
I wanted to ask you about that. You finished 4th in both songs, right?
Yep.
How many competitors, how many countries were they involved in that tournament that day?
I think overall there were around 25 countries, but in my weight class, I think there were 14 other competitors.
14. And you finished 4th?
Yep.
Actually, who ended up beating you?
So a guy from Poland who is a 14-time national champion in Poland, and Germany, Matthias Schiltzky, the Hellboy.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't saw that match.
Yeah, that dude is unreal.
Really?
Yeah.
Because he has such a big hand.
Yeah, he has
such a small body. I don't know.
One huge right arm in it. I'll tell you what, it's the biggest arm I've ever seen in person.
Like bigger than the heavyweights.
Yeah, like you know who Jeff Dave is?
Yes.
It's like his arm, but on a 155-pound person.
No way. That's crazy.
And how did you grip up with that hand? Because he that's a big hand.
Right. It's a really big hand, but initially I felt pretty good. I was like, because I gripped up with him, I'm like, man, I might have something here. But then as soon as the ref said go, he just completely engulfed me. And I had absolutely nothing for him.
It was more like the cupping strength, right?
Yep. His cupping and side pressure, that's all it was. But his hand is so big, like it was all the way down onto my wrist.
Yeah.
So you can't even
guys like that.
Right. I couldn't do anything.
You didn't get a chance for a strap, right?
Nope.
Maybe on
Yeah.
the strap you would have something.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that would have been different.
Mhm.
Yeah, but you have such a big dominant hand and cupping power. Without the strap, it's like me. Like if I arm wrestle a guy that has a big hand, I'm like lost because my hand's so thick. You know, it's hard to me to grip up because of the thickness of my hand, and the other guy's big hand. You know, I gotta sleep and go for the strap because it's really hard. There's this guy here in Puerto Rico. It's called Moreno. He used to be a strongman, and he's like 6'5", 400 pounds, and he has like a catcher's mitt, like a hand. And the times I've pulled him when without the strap, he just gets me to the side really easily because I cannot like find a way. Even because my hand is thick, but it's not that big.
Right.
But in the straps, like I just go like, I can hold it and bring it to my side. So maybe if you would have get the strap, did you even try to slip or it wasn't enough time?
No, I didn't even try. So Corey Miller, since he was kind of like the team coach, Corey actually pulled Matthias before. And even though Matthias has a big hand, his fingers are his weak point. So Corey was telling me to go up through his fingers and you might be able to get him. But yeah, I wasn't able to. So I'm thinking if I ever get the chance to pull him again, if I flop wrist and just slip out of there, maybe I can force a hook or even like a flop wrist press and get onto his bicep. Because even though his forearm is massive, I think his bicep is his weak point.
Yeah, because I haven't seen him in person. You have, but what I've seen from him, he's not hard. You look at his arm and it seems like soft.
Right. Yeah. It's not like solid muscle.
Yeah, and if that's so, I don't believe he has so much bicep strength. Because you see, like from here, from the elbow to the hand, he's really big, but the arm is like skinny.
Right. That's why I'm thinking a flop wrist press, a hard flop wrist. I might be able to get on his bicep and open him up.
Yeah,
because
and
take away the hand too. He wouldn't be able to get into my hand. So
yeah, and he's like everything is his hand and wrist.
Yep.
If you can manage both around that, you can get something going.
Yeah, I'm
or
sure.
wrestle him left hand instead.
Yeah, right. Definitely take a left-handed match with him.
He doesn't arm wrestle left, right?
Probably not.
So he told me he trains it in like maybe local competitions, but anything mainstream, I don't think he's pulling left-handed.
But I think the final match in the division you pulled at the Florida Championships, John, you wrestled a press guy, right?
Oh yes, the sloppy flop press.
Yeah, he went to the flop wrist, and he gave you some problems, right?
Well, he did it so fast. I wasn't expecting that. By that time, I was feeling good too, and tired.
No, I heard
So, like,
Brandon Morris like screaming, "Press him, you can finish him!" And I was like, "Look at John's face,
No.
come on."
No, so like he hit super hard in the flop, so I stopped him about 2 inches above the pad, and then his hand just kept going. And then once that happened, I'm like, okay, I need to wake up there. What the heck am I doing? And then in the strap, I just stopped him, looked at him, show dominance, I guess, and then I finished him. But yeah, he almost caught me by surprise.
Yeah, and sometimes that's the only chance ones have, to give you a fast surprise of something you're not expecting,
No, and I believe if Kevin would fake early start on purpose, go for the top roll, and then switch it up and just flop press him.
Yeah.
It could
So
work.
Kevin, what's in the near future for you?
So January 7th, I have a super match with John Hynoski. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with him or not.
I am.
Yeah, he's a bad dude, and we've had a rivalry for the past 3 or 4 years. He wins, I win. He wins, I win. So it's definitely, you know, you never know what's going to happen when we pull.
Yeah. I've seen that guy arm wrestle at Keystone, and
Yep.
a lot of he's really active in tournaments, right?
He is, especially this past year. I think he's done more tournaments than I've ever seen him do.
Yeah, he even been down in he's from Florida, right? Or not?
No, he's Pennsylvania.
But he went all the way down to Florida and he participated in some tournaments down there, right?
He have, yeah, I'm not familiar.
But I've seen him. I've seen him early in the year. He pulled in Florida a couple of times.
Okay.
But he's a strong guy, Richard, which if Richard is watching or watch this a little later or some other day, I thank Richard Calero for the work that he does in arm wrestling and for arm wrestling in Puerto Rico. You know, he's a really important part of this movement we have in Puerto Rico because Richard is the longest Puerto Rican arm wrestler in the United States. You know,
Oh, really?
he's been in the US for a long time and arm wrestling in New York, in Ohio, in Pennsylvania, all over the East Coast, Northeast, and he is really, really important for this movement. You know, and I thank him for everything that he does for the sport, and his wife for recording everything that he does.
Yeah, for sure.
They are very nice. They are very nice, and his brother has a restaurant down here in Puerto Rico. So maybe if something comes up and you guys are all down here, we can share some good moments and make good memories in Calerican. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that'd be a great time.
Yeah, and we if that happens, we are gonna find you a 250-pound guy to pull you.
That might be a little too big, but
We gotta come up with
There's
something.
one saying right there. Carly.
What? Yeah, Carly's right
Carly.
there. He can pull you left hand. Carly's like 230, right? Tú estás como en 230, ¿verdad, Carly?
Dile a Kevin que disculpe que no hable, que no soy mudo, que es que yo en el inglés en la escuela no iba a la clase.
Well, Carly, do you understand anything about in Spanish, Kevin?
No, I don't.
Okay, but Carly's saying that he apologizes because he's not it's not deaf. It's like he talks, he speaks, but he doesn't understand or speak English.
Okay.
So he's apologizing that, but what we're saying is that Carly could pull you because he's 230. Maybe he would have had a chance.
Oh man, he looks way too strong for me, I think.
Pero Kevin está diciendo que tú eres demasiado fuerte para él, que no puede ser tú.
Pero bueno, él no sabe, no es. Bueno, él ha tocado con Richard y eso.
Exacto. You if you look up on Pulseo TV, my YouTube channel, you will see a match, left-handed match between Richard and Carly. It was a war. I'll send it to you after we're done here. It was a war, like a war. It was it was best out of 5 super match, and there were like 627 ready goes. You know?
Yeah. De que tenía el antebrazo ya hinchado.
So I think John's phone died and he apologized. Maybe he will come up a little later. If not, thank you for being with us, and we'll have you here again.
Yeah,
I like to keep these relationships open, And
Yeah,
Kevin,
John's
if
a
you
cool.
want to start doing this on your channel, we will be more than happy to be with you,
Absolutely.
And but I think on that event, we're talking about the USA versus Puerto Rico thing. Carly would be pulling Tim Lewis.
Oh, there we go.
Tim Lewis left hand.
Left hand, right?
And Give me a minute. John is asking me for the link again. I'm gonna send them to him. Give me a minute. You can guys keep talking. Andre, say something. Keep talking with.
Hey, Kevin, how did you start everything? Like arm wrestling, you start with rock climbing, or
Yeah.
was?
Yeah, so like I said, I started as a rock climber, and then I actually met a buddy in college who competed in arm wrestling. So
Right.
we had a mutual friend who knew I was a rock climber and he was an arm wrestler. So he's like, hey, I want to see how the rock climber does against my buddy. So we set something up and just went out on the picnic table and we gripped up and did some arm wrestling. And ever since then, those guys are still my training partners to this day. And that
How
was
it went?
that
Did
was
you
7
win?
years ago now. So,
Cool.
but how long have you been arm wrestling for?
I've been wrestling. I started in college in 2012, but I moved to the States, and then for 8 years, it was a break. And then I go to work in Puerto Rico, and then I start like a year ago, December.
Okay.
It was December, so 1 year basically. But it was break, long break, 8 years. So
Yeah,
yeah.
we actually I have 2 Ukrainian arm wrestlers on my team now. So
Oh, cool.
yeah,
What
they're
the names?
Taras
You
Somyak.
got Palko, like Ukrainian last name, I would say.
Yeah, Palko.
Palko.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Ko.
Okay.
A lot of Ukrainian guys like Ko and N. So
Okay.
I taught you are Ukrainian. Maybe some, grandparents, grandparents.
Yeah, possibly a couple generations back, maybe.
Like,
But
cool.
Ukrainians have the strong genetics, so if I have any Ukrainian in me, I'm happy with it.
There you go. Yeah, like last Probandofuerzalive against Devin.
Yeah.
I was cool to watch, but so bad he lost it. But from other side, Devin is from Canada, so it's good.
Yeah, I was
Cool.
kind of worried for Devin in that match because the way Probandofuerzalive just went right through Todd Hutchins, I thought he might do the same to Devin, but yeah, Devin's on.
I thought it's gonna be like harder for Devin to get to the Probandofuerzalive, but just like walk through very easy actually for him.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, Devin, he might be on a different level right now. Because I know he had his elbow surgeries back in 2014. And then I think it took him a couple years before he even started, getting his strength back. And now 2022, I think he's getting back into it full force.
Now, we have performance enhancing pancakes here, which it's one of Devin's kids. He should have an inside on that, right, Pep? Okay, he's saying, Kevin, how much would you say you have increased your hand thickness over the years of training? Sorry for the weird question. That's what Pep's saying.
I mean, it's probably not much because, climbing and arm wrestling, it's been over 10 years now, and I would say it's not a very significant difference. Has it gotten thicker? Absolutely. But I tell people if you're going to try to thicken your hands, expect at least 5 or 10 years before you see any kind of difference.
Does that answer your question, Pep? Because I'm telling you, like right now, I'm trying to deal with this John thing, and we're trying because he has an iPhone, and sometimes when you have an iPhone, the app starts asking for a passcode, but I don't have one. But we're working it out. Anyway, if you see, I have pictures in my Instagram and Facebook, and the thickness of my wrist is increased inches, and my hand, like look at my hand.
Yeah.
It's really, really thick because, of the, when I start training for arm wrestling, it gets really, really thick, really thick. And my heart, look at that. Look at Carly's hand. Haz eso otra vez, Carly.
Espérate.
There you go.
Yeah, that's a thumb right there.
Not
I don't have that. I don't think
I
I
don't
have
have
that.
that either. No.
I don't have it. I used to have it when I was young. When I was in high school, I remember I had that shit. But right now, I don't have it. Maybe because I'm old. I don't know. But I don't have it. So Pep is saying so balloon hands are a lie. Is a lie. What do you mean about that, Pep? What balloon hands like what? Like Dave's hand? Dave?
Well, I think Devin Larratt made that balloon hands video where he pumps up his thumb with like pronating through the thumb like that.
Yeah.
Which you can increase the thumb pad a lot. But I mean, as far as like the fingers are really hard to grow because there's absolutely nothing in the fingers besides like a tendon and some cartilage and stuff. So to get thicker fingers, I mean, that's.
Yeah. And I train my thumb pronation.
Yep.
I use it. I just grab a strap and on my thumb and I pronate through that. Even I use the grippers, upside down, and I do it like this. But still, I don't have that kind of thing right there. Yeah, right there. Yeah, but I don't have that thing. I don't have it. Like I tried. I'm like, no.
Que eso mismo hago todos los días en el carro. Lo pongo al revés y trabajo el.
So Carly's saying that he does that every day on his car. He grabs it upside down and squeeze it,
Yep. And I think to build the hands up, as many reps as possible is the best way to build them.
See. He's one of Devin kids. I know. He's saying Devin said that his fingers got like an inch longer or something. But yeah, I guess the thumb pad is possible.
Yeah. I guess Devin made a video where after his years of pumpkin training, he put his hands together and his one arm was like this much longer somehow, some way. I don't know.
Anyway, Devin's hand is very dominating and big, but not as thick.
Right. Have you ever pulled Devin before?
No, I haven't pulled Devin before, but for what I've seen, he doesn't look like a thick hand.
Yeah.
Because of the I mean, he has big, strong because they look strong, but it's not like really like thick. It don't look thick.
Devin has a big bone structure, so like as far as the thickness, he doesn't have like huge like muscular hands or like very thick hands. But you can just feel the bone density in the hands. Like his joints, his wrist joints, his finger joints, they're all really thick.
Yeah. And Pep says Devin has never trolled anyone in his life.
Oh,
I believe that.
I believe that
I
too.
believe that. He's a gentleman. Anyway, have you seen the video of Devin's MRI on his arm and his elbow?
Yeah, I just seen that the other day.
And it got me thinking about maybe like arm wrestlers keep pulling and they don't like know they have that kind of damage on their arm.
Mm-hmm.
Because we all think, oh, it's soreness, aches and pains, but we don't really like know if it's an injury or a tear.
Yep.
Or something like that. And I think it's because of the way we train and the way the body reacts and adjusts to the training and the stress we put it through. Because we know we tend to like our arms tend to like get like a little short or tight.
Mm-hmm.
And it got me thinking when I saw that video that's the effect of that damage we're doing on our arms, because the body is trying to protect itself and heal, and the way it heals like shortening their arm, making it tighter and tighter, and I believe that's because of the injuries we sustain over the years. we got spores, we got elbow spores, we got tendon damage, we got micro muscle fiber tears, you know, because like me, like you see Carly, you see Andre, their arms, they can stretch their arms, you know, they can stretch no problem. But my arm, I can't stretch my right arm, I cannot stretch it. I cannot stretch my arm. And I believe it's the damage, you know, that's been done to the like if you see my right arm,
Yeah,
like that's like
part you can straighten it.
that's the it doesn't go more than that, you
Yeah.
know. But my left, you know, and I'm feeling like the way I feel the pain on the elbow, the pain on the shoulder, and sadly say it's injuries that are there that it start like micro and start like getting worse and worse and worse over the years, but we just keep going, you know. And in Devin's case, it sounded really bad, you know, even though he beat Brutnik like that. Okay, he did beat Brutnik like that. It sounded like bad, and he was like laughing and you know, all laughs and fun, but you know, it's serious. It's serious because he has had a lot of surgeries on that arm.
Yeah, because I think the doctors were saying almost every tendon and ligament in his elbow is torn, at least partially. I mean, I don't know how you can arm wrestle if every ligament and tendon is torn. But I mean, I think that's a reason why Devin was maybe laughing it off, because I don't know. He's like, how is that possible?
Like if you follow Devin his entire career, he was like a hooker, like an inside aggressive puller. And after he had the first surgeries on his elbow, his style changed dramatically from an aggressive to a defensive.
Right.
And then he started the pumpkin thing on his right arm. And you know, it tells, you know, it maybe he has known over the years that he has had these issues and has never, you know, talked about it. Or maybe Pep is saying like, I'm amazed of your multitasking ability. Brother, I can do it all. Even dude, I do everything on my phone, Pep. Everything on my phone. I got my computer. I'm doing a podcast in español, in English, and you know, I'm multitasking. I'm multitasking, even though I'm not as fast as you, because when the events come up like East versus West and all that, you do like the recast. You do it like in a second after the match is done. I don't know how do you do that. I don't know. And you know, he makes them short, like from a minute. And how do you do that? I try to do it fast. I can't. It's like a minute, like bam, 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 right there. And with his sexy voice, he's sexy. I am one of Devin's kids' boys, you know. And you know, I'm amazed by that. You know what I'm saying? I think John is back. I think John, yeah, John is back right there.
I got it.
I told you it's because you have an iPhone.
So it got kicked out of my iPhone when I went to the washroom. Then it came back, it was out. I cannot log back in with my phone, so I went and installed my wife's phone. Now it's working.
No, I think it is because the iPhone like it gives a time limit.
Oh, really? Eh?
Yeah, it gives a time limit, something like that. It happened with the last podcast I did with Adam Wozinski. He had the same problem. He had the same problem.
Okay.
It was, but he kept trying until we got it going, you know, and thank God you did, because we were having a lot of fun with performance enhancing pancakes, and which you're Canadian, so if you ask him to come with us on a show, at least with a bag on his face or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think he's ever gonna show his face to the public.
Yeah, dude, you put a bag or something, a SpongeBob bag or something, and you come on the show with us. You got to do that, man. you know, when the Levon Devon match was on, I was telling Pep that when Devon beat Levon, we were going to do a show together. And he was like, yeah. He knew Devon was going. He was betting against Devon, even being one of his kids. He didn't want Devon to win because he didn't want to come in any show and show his face.
So is that why his son was in a timeout for a year?
Who?
Is that why his son was in a timeout for a year?
Wait.
No,
See, he's saying I can't show my face until I have a mustache like Kevin's.
That might be a while.
Good luck.
Yeah.
That would take some time because that's a good mustache. That's a good mustache right there. At 28 years old with a good mustache. How old are you, John?
I'm 26.
He's 26. See? And with a 28-year-old, we got a mustache like that, Pep. And if you're one of kids, if you're one of Devin's kids, those kids don't have facial hair yet. So we gotta work on him. We gotta at least with a bag or something on his face to come with his sexy voice and do a show with us. You know, I'm just messing with him, saying he's one of Devin's kids, but actually, I think he is. Actually,
It's very possible.
Could be.
I think Chance knows who he is.
Does he?
Chance Cho. I think he does know who he is. Pep, does
So
Chance know who you are? Or he just met you like I met you and knows you as we know you on social media?
So if Chance does know who it is, we have to turn him into the chug boat again and reveal the truth.
Yeah. I'm very tempted to ask Chance about this, you know, because if I'm Devin's kid, I'm a minor, and you're calling my voice sexy. Well, have you ever heard of the YouTube channel Comics Explained? The guy has like a voice like this, like a like James Earl Jones kind of voice. That's what I meant. That's what I mean. Anyway, what were we talking about before we started carrying into Pep?
I forgot.
Yeah, I forgot. It happened. The same thing happened when we were doing this with Paul Lynn, because Chance Shaw came on the chat and we started talking about the same thing. Everybody wants to know who he is, you know. And I remember I met Pep when he had like 1,000 subscribers. He has like 11,000 now.
Yeah, he's killing it now.
He's killing it. He's doing a good job, and I like the way he does things. And you know, there's a lot of fans that wants to get the information like quick. You know, like not everybody sits down and yeah, you should be sorry. You ruined the stream. You ruined it. You took us off topic. Anyway, and not everybody wants to, you know, spend 5-10 minutes trying to get the info. And he does a pretty good job. Like in a minute, you get everything and go on, you know. And like Paul said, he had like ADD, and he doesn't have the ability to pay attention for long periods of time, and that his videos help him with that, you know, getting the info like that. But anyway, we were talking about the injuries in arm wrestling and the way they affect the mobility of our arms and the elbows, you know. And I don't know if you were here listening to us, John, but we were talking about Devin's MRI.
Yeah, so I've heard just a bit of part to it, and I've watched his video. So his elbow's pretty screwed up, and can you just imagine what the guy feels day to day when he's not actually arm wrestling, the pain he must go through? It's just incredible how he can keep going with the arm wrestling as hard as he's doing.
That's probably why you arm wrestle every day, just to keep.
I haven't seen the video of the MRI on his hand. I haven't seen that one.
Me neither.
But I remember after Lovan's match, everybody was focused on his bicep tear, but Devin said that his hand was all turned up too. I didn't know what he meant like by that, but I have friends like Arturo Pizarro is a Puerto Rican that lives in Las Vegas and arm wrestles. He trains with Brandon Allen and Eric Spoto and those guys. And you know that Devin likes to go to Vegas and train and visit and all that. And Arturo has told me that he has heard Devin saying that the ability to squeeze with his hand, that he has lost that he doesn't like. He can't hang on to people's hands. That's why the strap thing, because he has lost that ability,
Right.
And it's sad, but at the same time it's beautiful watching this man going through that and keep going till the wheels fall off. It motivates me in so many ways about life, because Devin is not just an arm wrestler, he's a soldier too. He has seen some shit, and people talk bad about him, and I don't agree with everything that Devin does or say, but I love the guy, and I'm a big fan, I'm a big fan of Devin, and I love him to death because of what he has done for the sport and what he represents as a man in the sport, and I would be really, really bummed out if it gets to a point where Devin cannot wrestle anymore,
Which it will happen one day. Like
we have seen John keep going, like George Crazy George.
I think he's 137 years old, if I'm not mistaken.
And he's going, and he keeps going and winning.
The guy, so like he did lose a little bit, but like just to take in consideration how strong he still is, he made Curtis Cameron, pork chop, look like an amateur. And that was at Ontario Provincials. That was this year. I think it was like in April or June. So I think he's actually like 74. I'm not sure exactly, but like it's just incredible. But you have to take in consideration Devin was arm wrestling freaking monsters, the best, literally the best in the world, and his training, like he goes on the table for hours and hours at a time in practice. You can just imagine the toll it takes on your elbow, mostly if it's already injured. So like I said earlier, I'm not sure how he does it with that much damage.
In your opinion, Kevin and John and Andre and Carly, in your opinion, which Devin was better? The old Devin where he went to the gym and trained with weights and was an aggressive arm wrestler, or the pumpkin Devin?
So I think it's hard to compare, just because people in arm wrestling just got so much better. The competition got better. So like he's just as good in the two ways. And now his endurance now is just out of this world. He can hold out pretty much everyone on this planet. So again, it all comes down to people just getting better in the sport.
Yeah, I think Devin now is a little more well-rounded. He might not be as healthy as he was back then, but I think his overall knowledge of the sport and his well-roundedness would today's Devin would probably beat the old Devin, in my opinion.
100%.
Andre?
I think he still get it. And I think doesn't matter old or new, he's still strong, I like the way he is right now, and I like the way he was back in the day.
Carly, ¿y tú qué crees? El Devon de antes que le daba las pesas en el gimnasio y eso, contra el Devon de ahora con el entrenamiento que hace de la calabaza? ¿Cuál tú crees que es el mejor? ¿O cuál te gusta más? ¿Cuál tú entiendes que es el mejor?
Me gustaba más antes. Antes me
So
gustaba.
Carly saying the Devon of the past, he liked it more.
Lo veía
now-
más. Ahora yo no lo veía antes usando mucho el King Move. Ahora suele usar mucho el King Move para defenderse. So, ahora él varía como que de muchas técnicas y eso. Y antes lo veía más fuerte en la mesa.
Okay, so Carly's saying that before the old Devon, to him, it looks stronger on the table. That now using the King's move and always defending, he doesn't look at him as dominant like he was back in the day. But now, my opinion, the Devon Larratt that faced John Bersenk in Arm Wars and beat him 6-0, that was the Devon Larratt before the surgeries.
Mm-hmm.
That Devon Larratt would have beat Denis Siplenkov, and that Devon Larratt would have been Levant too. That's my opinion. I'm gonna tell you like this. I remember back then, Devon was on top. He was the #1 arm wrestler in the world, both hands. And he offered Siplenkov through Masurenko many super matches. And I remember that one of those super matches, he offered, the deal was going to be made for $50,000 to have that super match. And Denis Siplenkov and Masurenko never accepted. And to me, if you don't accept the match, you lose the match because you do not believe or have the confidence that you're going to win. Because if you're saying that you're strong and all that, you arm wrestle, right? And the Devon that pulled Denis Siplenkov, that Devon didn't have any chance. Devon had just had surgeries so like 6 months before, and that was like 200 pounds Devon against a 300-pound Siplenkov. You know, Devon had the balls to went to Russia and pull Siplenkov when Siplenkov ran away from him when Devon was in his peak. And that's my 2 cents. I believe that Devon Larratt before the surgeries would have dominated anyone that was put in front of him because he was healthy, strong, and I'm gonna say this. I don't know if I'm right, but maybe Devon knows the condition he's in, and he tries to protect himself in the way he arm wrestles. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like he's not aggressive because he might get hurt and he knows it.
Yeah, he knows his elbows are messed up, so he doesn't have the ability to really to jam somebody offensively.
Like the last time I saw him hit, when was it? I know it was a WAL match, and I think it was with Jerry Calorek. That was the last time I saw Devon Larratt hit.
Well, he got John Brzenk too when he was down in the King of the Table match.
Oh yeah, and that one.
Yeah,
but,
and that's only because
the
first round the King's move wore John out so bad that John was really nothing the next second, third, fourth round.
Yeah. But like really hitting.
For sure.
The last time I saw him, like with Jerry Calorek, that WAL match.
Yep, for sure.
And I wish Devon all the health in the world. I pray for him every day, as I do for all my friends and people that I look up to. And that Prutnik match made me feel a sense of like I was proud of Devon because he went all out. He had to. If he would have just tried to hold on Prutnik, maybe I don't think it would have worked for him. And Prutnik made Devon attack slowly, but he had to attack. And those words that Devon say at the end of the match, saying that that he found a way to hold on to what he loved. That was what was going through his head on the match. That was why he was asking Prudnik, fight me, because he got on that mode. Like, this is all I got. You know, it was really, really exciting. Like, really exciting. Really exciting.
Yeah, that's the thing about Devin, is he has to find that emotional connection in order to, you know, stay strong during the match. If there's no emotional connection, it's kind of just another match, and I don't think he would be into it. But
Yeah.
that's why every match that we see, Devin has to find something to start like picking his opponent apart, because he needs that emotional.
Yeah.
But at the
Yeah,
same time,
definitely.
it makes the match very interesting.
Yeah.
For us, the fans, it makes it way better too.
Dude,
Yeah.
I mean, the last East versus West event was good, but I think East versus West 4, that card was better, but that card didn't have that. If I haven't asked Engin Terzi this, but I gotta ask him. I can bet money that on East versus West 5, the pay-per-view sales went up, and they went up because of Devin Larratt.
Oh,
That's it. That's it. You know, and well, Pat says we need Devin versus Levon at 115 and 115 kilograms. Easy water cut. I mean, for Devin, but I think Levon would die if cholesterol and growth hormone doesn't kill him first. That cut
Weight
would
cut
kill him.
definitely would.
Definitely would. Like, definitely.
The Devin
Definitely.
Larratt Dennis match is definitely going to happen before the Levon match happens again.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
If Dennis beats John Brzenk, the next match will be Dennis and Devin, I think.
But it's going to be right hand, right?
Right hand.
They never pull right hand.
Mm-mm.
And I don't. Do you think they should pull left hand?
I don't think so.
Because the match they had before was left hand.
Right. And I don't think Devin ever really wanted it to be left-handed, but that's the match that he got, and he wasn't going to pass the opportunity.
Yeah.
But if it happens again, it's definitely going to be right-handed. And I think Devin has a chance, because obviously Dennis is coming off being sick, and Devin is peak.
Come on, let's talk turkey. Dennis almost died because of all the liver he ate, and balls and penis he ate.
Pancakes.
And you know, because I'm making a Liver King joke, you know. he ate a lot of liver, and he almost died. Like Devin, when he came back from that match, Devin said they are soldiers willing to die. And what he meant like that is all the shit that Siplenkov took that almost killed him. Like, Siplenkov went on renal failure 2 days after that match.
Yep.
Wow.
So that Denis Siplenkov comeback, if it happens, I believe it would happen for one match, because Siplenko has been out because he cannot put stress on his body. His kidneys don't take it. That's why he's been out. And I don't know by now, but I mean, like 8 months ago, there were talks of a comeback, and he had to Pep says, I think Dennis tends to struggle against King's movers. I think he may have trouble finishing Devin, but maybe with a transition flop press. I could agree with you, Pep, but I don't see Dennis heading. Do you guys think if a match with Devin gets to be done, like, what, they're gonna still end up in the middle of the table doing the King's move, or somebody's gonna hit?
I think Dennis has more of a chance of hitting than Devin does. And then Devin, I think Devin would do the same thing he did to Prubnik, but I don't know if Dennis would be stopped like Prubnik was.
Well, do you guys saw the after polls of East versus West?
Yeah, a little bit.
There was Kurdecha pulled Dennis left and right.
Yeah, Dennis made it look easy.
On left. But right, he couldn't handle Kurdecha. And everything Dennis did was a king's move. He didn't really went in. He was holding.
Yeah, that's all he's doing now.
And watching the way Devin has been pulling, like Pep says, he's saying it's okay either way because we are guaranteed to get the double king's move that we all want to see.
It'll be like Devin and Dave all over again.
Dude, that match is so bad. Was so bad. I mean, I had a one of these with Dave Chafee, and he told me that he will talk about any match except that one. That one was so horrible. He doesn't want to talk about that match. and I'm saying, like, there's one match that I say that really hurt the sport. And I'm not blaming the athletes. I blame the promotion, because to me, the WAL was like a circus, you know. It was a show for the cameras. The way the setup, the rules, those pads that went to the border of the table, you know, and that Devin versus Michael Todd match was horrible, and I don't want that. Like, that match, it damaged the sport a lot because it was so ugly. But it's not Devin's fault. It's not Michael's fault. It was the promotion wanted to make the show, you know, and it hurt it. To me, it hurt the sport and more. And we got to try stay awake like that because we're knocking on the Olympics door, you know. We're really close, and I don't know if you know, Kevin or John, that already arm wrestling is in the list of new sports in the Olympic Committee.
No, I didn't know that.
I'm gonna send you the promo of LA 2028. That's gonna be the Paralympics, and arm wrestling is official sport in the Paralympics. And now I did my friend from Costa Rica, which is the president of the WAF in Costa Rica. He got the letter because he competes in the open division and he competes in the Paralympics division. And the Olympic International Committee sent him a letter telling him he had to decide either to compete in the Paralympics or in the open division. He cannot compete in both because the sport was already an Olympic event. So in 2028, we're gonna see arm wrestling in the Paralympics in Los Angeles, and in France 2032, arm wrestling is gonna be an official sport for the Olympics as a whole. So if nothing bad happens from here to there, we're talking about 10 years from now, we're gonna see a whole new generation of young, motivated arm wrestlers going to the Olympics. And maybe you guys, maybe Carly, Andre, or Kevin or John that are young. I'm 41, you know, I have no chance. But you guys are going to be like well-seasoned, you know, veterans that could go to the Olympics and you know, win a medal. You know what I'm saying? And I believe that has been the north of the sport, like the achievement the sports want to get, you know, to get to the Olympics.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think you got the people on one hand who want it to be like the UFC, and then you have the people on the other hand who want it to be the Olympics. And I think that's where we were kind of juggling it for a while. Do we want to go the UFC route or do we want to go the Olympics route?
Exactly, exactly. Because I was reading on a blog that they were saying that the WAF, the worlds were amateurs. That people were making an argument that those arm wrestlers or even the FIA, the IFA, that were amateurs because they didn't get paid or wasn't on a higher level or whatever. But you gotta make a decision. Either you want to make money on this, or you want to, have your dream of going to the Olympics at least. Because my dream is to get my son, which is 8 years old, walk with him in France to the arm wrestling Olympics. That's it. That's my goal right there. I don't even want to win. I'm just getting there, And I believe a lot of people feel like that, And I believe arm wrestling can have both things. And the way that is going with the King of the Table and the East versus West, I think it's going good because it's not interfering with the other thing that WAF or whatever are doing for the Olympics, and it's making the sport look good. Endgame is making the sport look glorious, and each event is getting better and more organized. I don't know if you guys have seen that he's already saying or sharing pictures of the rankings in each division with the arm wrestlers that are in, and it's looking well organized and everything. And I believe it's actually helping the movement to get arm wrestling to the Olympics in 2020, 2032. And I would dare to say that the International Committee, Olympic Committee, is seeing East versus West and are liking it, and that's why they're making harder moves in that direction, that the Olympics is going to have arm wrestling,
Yeah, for sure.
I want to ask you guys something. It's 11 o'clock here. I don't know. It's 10 over there. I don't want to keep you up all night. I know John has to work and everything, but I want to ask you this before we end the show. When you do an event, and do you guys get or find some kind of insurance for people that get injured on your events? I'm asking this because in Puerto Rico lately have been a lot of injuries, like broken arms and stuff, and it's been a hot topic, and people are saying that yes, there are insurers that can insure that, and I have friends in the insurance business, and they say like if there is, it's ridiculously expensive, and they don't. What do you guys know about this?
So, see, in Canada, well, healthcare is free, well, to a certain point. So, like, it's super different than other countries. So, basically, we just sign a waiver, which tells the athletes if they do get injured, it's their own responsibility to cover their costs or get whatever they need to do.
Okay.
Just so the organizer is not responsible for that cost.
Okay. Kevin?
Yeah, so I mean, it's pretty much the same in the US. I've never promoted like an event personally. However, I'm the coach of the Cleveland arm wrestling team, which I mean, I have some responsibility to keep my teammates safe. The only thing I do in terms of like a waiver is when they sign up for the team, they have to, check the box that if I get injured, it's not on Cleveland arm wrestling or any of the competitors. So as far as insurance, though, no, I don't have that. But I have heard that some promoters, they do have it. I just don't know how much it is or what kind of hoops they have to go through.
Well, I have done the research here in Puerto Rico, and nobody insures that. Like the liability for a promoter or anyone, like from being sued or whatever, there's no known insurance for that. And actually, we just do the same thing. They sign a waiver and all that. But we've been asking around, and I've asked the presidents of the organizations in Peru, Mexico, and Costa Rica, and the only thing differently they have answered to me is that they are government funded, and the government gives them money to run the events, the federation, and all that, right? So the government makes them buy insurance, like health insurance, if they're going to go to another country and compete. They got to be insured that if they suffer an injury, they going to get treatment. That's all.
So
That's the only thing.
for us it would be a travel insurance. So like when I go, like even if I go to leisure to Cuba or Dominican or Jamaica, wherever, I purchase travel insurance with my trip, like that. If I do get sick or my wife gets a broken leg or something, you're not paying thousands of dollars for healthcare.
Right,
exactly.
But that's you're still gonna have to pay for on your own, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So like even like I traveled with the IFA over to France. If I were to break my arm when I was over there, I mean, I wouldn't be covered whatsoever, like by the organization.
Yeah. No.
Well, the traveler's insurance, if you went to a hospital over there, would cover that cost, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
It depends. It depends which one. So there's different companies you can work with, travel agency. So it's different everywhere. But most of the times you can purchase a specific, not specific, but like a sport and leisure insurance that would protect you in case something happens while you're doing a sporting event. But it's just like a personal insurance.
Right.
Yeah. So we are all, to our knowledge, in agreement that there's no insurer that would insure a thing like that, because there's a lot of different opinions over here of that, and I always ask guys that are around the sport, athletes, or around the promotion, if they know something that we don't, because we have an incident, que fue el incidente de Carlos Cali, that we had this Venezuelan guy that went on an event and he broke his arm, and he don't have any papers, yet. And he had to cover all the expenses of the surgery and all that. And we are helping him with the expenses and stuff, but we started like thinking, maybe we can get an insurance that if that happened, at least the medical coverage would be covered. The medical expenses will be covered. And we haven't been able to find that. And that's why I've been asking around to people I know around the sport, in order to improve the way we do things.
Yeah, I actually ran into this issue looking for a gym to train at for our team, because the team that we used to train for kind of went out of business. So I created the Cleveland arm wrestling team, and I was looking for different gyms, and I was calling around to different gyms. And a lot of them asked me, hey, do you have any kind of insurance that would cover if somebody got hurt? I'm like, no, I don't have that. And then they pretty much said, well, we probably won't be able to have you here at the gym then. So, I mean, there must be something out there. I just don't know what exactly it would be, because Rich Calero, he was kind enough to let us use his facility that he's the manager at. And God, we thank him for that, because or else we'd still be in people's basements and garages doing it.
Yeah, in Puerto Rico it's the same thing. We to get an arm wrestling table into a gym it's hard.
Yeah, not many gyms take that responsibility.
Yeah.
So see, I guess that's one good thing about Canada. Like I said, the free healthcare. So like we don't really have that problem. We just sign a waiver, and then wherever put your table, they know they're not going to be responsible, because if I break my arm at a local event here, I just go to the hospital, they'll fix it up for me and I'm good to go. But myself going to the States, if I break my arm there, it's going to cost me thousands and thousands of dollars. So like, I understand your point of view. It's totally different. And I understand why gyms or places would want you to have insurance. I totally get that point.
Right.
Yeah, and even I don't know if you follow Pulseo TV. I did a live with Vasil Lotko, the guy from Ukraine that lives in Dubai, that
Okay.
broke his arm, and he broke it on last December, and he broke the same arm again in October.
Wow.
And he had the surgery in Kazakhstan, and they like, it was like $4,000
I
for
believe
each
it.
surgery. You know, and we're talking Kazakhstan, you know, like over there, like I don't know what insurance or healthcare thing they have over there. I don't know.
I have no
You
idea.
know, so it's you know, and they did something that we don't know, because you know, if you break your arm in December and then 5 days later you're back in the table, they know something we don't. You know,
Very true.
I don't know, but you know, like right now he broke his arm. He was gonna have surgery to remove the thing he had in the arm on November, and he broke it on October. So the surgery to repair the last arm break, they had to take what he had in out and put another thing in, and at like the next day he was able to do this with the arm and everything. I don't know. They know something we don't. You know what I'm saying?
Different type of water, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know, because I've, like the guys over here, like we have had like 4 arm breaks. ¿Verdad, Carly? ¿Cuántos brazos rotos han habido? 4.
Este año,
Los que han habido ahora, está el de Carlos, el de Cristal,
Carlos,
el
el
de
de
Jafé.
Cristal, el del pana tuyo
Ajá.
y el de, bueno, el de este, pero no fue este año, fue el pasado.
Exacto, fue el año pasado. Well, in recent months, like last month, we have had 3 arm breaks. Of the 3 arm breaks,
Wow.
2 had the surgery and 1 did. And you know, still the one that didn't have the surgery, they didn't put him on a cast or anything. And the recovery has been really slow, but you know, the guy is really skinny, and I believe that the surgeon didn't want to operate because like the guy was really skinny, you know, and that operation on that arm, you know, I don't know, maybe that's why the surgeon advocated against having the surgery, and my friend ended up deciding not to having it. But we have had 3, and 2 had the surgery, and one didn't. So
That'd be interesting to see how they come back from it.
yeah, and I know 2007 Dave Chafee broke his arm. And look at him now, the strongest arm in the world. You know,
I mean, a lot of people do come back stronger after an arm break. So, I mean, I don't know what the science is behind it, but I mean, I just hope I break my arm. But if I do,
dude, I have heard people say that, and I was like, no, dude, don't say that. Don't think about it. But anyway, when my first competition arm wrestling, I fractured it. I didn't break it. Like the bone, like
Really?
had a little crack. And it took me a year to be back, you know, to arm wrestle again. You know, it took me a long time. And you know, with molar science and everything, you know this guy from Florida, Craig Sublier, he has broken his left arm like twice, and he didn't have a surgery, but you know, he kept breaking it, you know.
right.
I don't know what's that, but you know, he don't arm wrestle anymore with that arm. I've seen practice, but not competitively, you know. And you know, it's scary to have it happen like 1, 2 times, 3 times. It's damn, it's bad. And I have friends that are doctors that say bones tend to heal and be stronger after the break. But I mean, we have seen ones that does, but others don't. So, you know.
Mhm.
So,
But honestly, if I would have fractured my arm at my first event, I don't know if I would have kept arm wrestling.
Yeah, right.
That's crazy.
I did, and I remember I pulled this guy. Now he was a little guy. He was a little guy, but he was huge. He was like a bodybuilder, huge, and he beat me, and I held him as long as I could, and the pain I felt, like I couldn't move my arm, and I didn't break it. It was just cracked, and I couldn't move my arm. I remember it was in extreme pain, and I got so mad. I wanted it to beat him, you know. And it took me a year to be back. And when I came back, I ended up being national champion, but I didn't face him. I didn't get to face him. He was in the tournament, but we didn't cross path, you know, because I went to the final undefeated, and he lost to the guy that I beat at the finals. Still, I know where the guy is, and I know he's not training, he doesn't arm wrestle anymore. But when they told me, que si Pucho está en Laja, he has a restaurant over there, my blood got hot. Like, I want to arm wrestle him, you know. I mean, a lot of years, like 15, 20 years ago, but I want to get him ready, you know,
Yeah.
have him training. I
But
want
that's
to go to crack at him.
you arm wrestled him is when you cracked your arm.
What?
That's the only time you've ever arm wrestled him is when you chipped your arm.
No. What do you mean, competitively?
Yeah.
Yeah, against the guy.
So, like, after you broke your arm against him, have you ever arm wrestled him since?
No.
So you need to go and arm wrestle him for a free meal at his restaurant.
Right.
That's the only time I pulled him. It was like John with Boboda.
Right. Yeah. One and done.
He just had one. He had one chance.
Yep.
And I tried. You know, I looked for him, trying to arm wrestle him, and again, you know, and I arm wrestle strong guys, and I never crossed paths with him again. You know, and he's older than me, and he's not doing anything. But when I saw him, I was like, is he arm wrestling? Because I want to, you know, just for old time's sakes.
Right. How far do you know that? How far did arm wrestling go back in Puerto Rico that you're aware of?
Well, arm wrestling has been in Puerto Rico as long as arm wrestling been in the United States.
Okay.
And in Puerto Rico has always been since the 70s. Back in the late 70s, the whole 80s, and early 90s, there was this big event. It was like the Yukon Jack or the Golden Bear. It was called Pulseo Medalla in Puerto Rico. And arm wrestling has always been a popular sport in Puerto Rico, always. The only thing is that after the Pulseo Medalla went out of business, nobody was arm wrestling anymore. You know, I remember when I became national championship, it was the last year of the Pulseo Medalla when it's always already dying down. Right. That was I believe after I became national champion, it was one more year and that was it. Like the last year was 1998 or something like that.
Right.
And Puerto Rico was even, they had it on TV shows. They had the main promoter of the arm wrestling tournament, big arm wrestling tournament. I'm talking about was a beer brand that is very famous and always win the best beer in the world. When they go to contests about beer, it always wins. It's the Medalla beer from Puerto Rico. And they put up the money and the event got organized and whatnot. And it was really popular. I mean, there were like 9 to 12 events a year around the island to make regional championships. And then at the end of the year, they would choose a spot in Puerto Rico, either San Juan, Cabo Rojo, whichever. and made the finals for each weight class. It was a very, very, very big event. And I remember weight classes with 200 competitors in one weight class.
Jesus.
That's
It was
crazy.
big. It was big. I mean, back then the prize money on each regional was $1,000, and I mean in the 80s, you know, $1,000 in
That's
each weight class, and it was like 1,000 for first, 500 for second, and 200 for third, something like that. And people went because back then it was a lot of money. And when you went to the national championship, it was like $5,000 to $10,000 back then. You know, so it was like they put up so much money because it made way more because it was really popular, you know. And like I said, there was TV shows that on Saturdays and Sundays they would have arm wrestling. And after the Pulso Medalla ended, and the top guys started getting older, where there wasn't, like, Puerto Rico didn't have arm wrestling tables. When I started arm wrestling, I started arm wrestling in top of the hood of a car, on a seat on my school, on a table. We didn't have official arm wrestling tables. There was only one arm wrestling table in Puerto Rico, and luckily it was in the gym I trained, because the manager of the gym was one of the guys that was national champion like 3 or 4 times.
Oh, nice.
And the guy that had the table for the competition, like, told him, like, take care of this for me. And I had little table time, but I had some late table time that was like people trained and only touched the table on competition, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, we had the blessing that Joe Cortez, the guy I was telling you about, that is a welder that has very strong hands, being a welder, he started showing interest in the sport and starting building tables.
Nice.
And that's what got us here. Joe Cortez meeting Richard Calero, and Richard already arm wrestler in the United States, in the area of New York. And he met Joe, he saw talent in Joe, and they started practicing, and they needed to practice on a table. And that's why Joe built a table.
Nice.
And from then on, he started building tables for everybody that asked him. And it got us here, you know. Everybody that has a table made in Puerto Rico, it was made by Joe, you know.
Yeah.
And he's still, I get people contacting me by DMs on Instagram and Facebook, asking me where to get the table, to recommend where to get the table. And I say, well, you can get it for $600 on Amazon and wait for it, or you can pay Joe way less and go get it at his house, you know.
Yep.
Because he has tables there, or it takes him hours to make a table, you know. And from then on, when I retired arm wrestling, because the sport died down, I traveled sometime to the mid southwest of the United States to compete a couple of times. That's where I actually met Michael Todd, Dave Chafee, Travis Bajan, David Randall, all those guys. I met them because I was starting, and I went there. I mean, I wasn't a champion. I wasn't winning, but I was just getting the experience, you know, trying to better myself, pulling over there, because in Puerto Rico we didn't have tournaments or nothing. And then, well, I graduated college. I got married. My first child was born with some disabilities and stuff, and I stopped training and everything. And when I always started, like, I was looking who was arm wrestling in Puerto Rico, you know, because I know in the States everybody was arm wrestling, but I was looking if somebody was arm wrestling in Puerto Rico. And I met Joe Cortez via watching a YouTube video. Somebody had put a video. I looked for the email of the guy that put the video on YouTube, And I met Joe, I think it was in 2012, in an event where he had a super match with Richard Calero in Florida, Puerto Rico, because actually in Puerto Rico, there's a town called Florida, a municipality called Florida. And I met him there. And from there, we hit up a great friendship. He is a very, very strong guy, knowledgeable. And like, I mean, I've pulled a lot of guys, but the only guy that I could compare here in Puerto Rico to John Bersenk is Joe, because he has like an hydraulic thing on his arm. And I mean, Noel is strong. I know Noel is very strong, but he has problems with Joe. You know, Joe has, if Richard Calero, if you say Richard Calero has amazing back pressure, Richard calls Joe Mr. Back Pressure.
Oh, wow.
Now, you knowing that, and you hear Richard calling him Mr. Back Pressure, you can say like, okay, what's going on here?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
And
wait.
actually, I met him, and what?
Are you trying to say I need to get out of this call to come and pull Joe?
Well, Joe doesn't back down from a fight. You know, if we can do something, we gotta do something. We do something, no matter what. We do something. We can do something.
Perfect.
Are you familiar with
really,
Richard
really,
Calero, John?
What do you mean? What?
No, I've never been, honestly.
In where? Puerto Rico?
No,
Yeah, no, I've never been.
familiar with Richard Calero.
No,
been in
I'm
Puerto
not.
Rico?
No.
No? Okay, well, yeah.
No.
I'm gonna tell you this. I believe, I mean, Joe is older than me. Joe, I'm 41. I think Joe is 43 or 44. But Joe, nobody knows about Joe. And Joe, when he used to pull in New York, he would beat Alex Topro easily. You know, he was top level, top elite level. You know, he has had some injuries because, like I say, he works in construction all day, and you know, and try to arm wrestle and train for arm wrestling and working with his hand all day. He has some injuries in his hand and wrist, but the guy is strong. And I believe, given a chance to show Joe to the world, he would do some damage, you know, because he's strong. He's strong. And I mean, I'm strong. I know I'm strong. You know, I'm not saying I'm the strongest, but I know I'm strong. And when you pull people heavier than you, the other guy, the heavier guy, always has the advantage. And when I practice with Joe, I'm feeling like I'm pulling a guy that weighs 500 pounds.
Jesus.
Like it's I'm no Levon, but I bicep curl 250 pounds. You know, and I know I have a strong hook, and you know, Joe is strong. Joe is really strong. Like, ask Noel about it. If you ask Noel about it, Joe is really strong. The only thing is that Joe has been in Puerto Rico working and being a husband and a father, and hasn't reached out to go and expand. But if he does get a chance to do that, I believe he would shine. He would shine because he's that good. I mean, I'm not saying he's like the John Bersenk that he will beat everybody, but I believe he can compete with you guys. You know, he can compete.
Yeah.
See, that was just an excuse to get out of the cold.
But you're more than welcome. If you want to come
crazy.
if you want to come to a Christmas vacation in Puerto Rico, you're more than welcome. I will hook you up. We will hang out. We will meet Joe, whatever. You know.
That'd be awesome, but definitely let me know when there is like a bigger event going on. I would
Actually,
definitely
right now we haven't sit down and planned for 2023, but
Yeah.
I have been contacted by people with restaurants and bars that are big names in the capital of Puerto Rico that would be able to put a big show, you know.
Nice.
And in Puerto Rico, I think it was in 2000 something. 2000 something. I don't remember. Michael Todd came to Puerto Rico. And it was in a place that the owner contacted me like a week ago, asking me to put an event on that same venue. So I know he can put up a big thing, you know, something good, you know. And maybe maybe we can, you know, do something.
Yeah, for sure. That'd be awesome. Let me know for sure, though. Definitely interested. I like traveling. My wife too, so it's perfect.
Well, that's good. That's good. That's good. Actually, I was planning to travel to California this Christmas, but I'm not gonna do it until next year. And I was trying to hook up with Derek Smith back then on California, maybe go to Brandon Allen's house or something. But I don't think I would. I won't travel to California until summer. But I do like I want to start moving Pulseo TV into traveling, like visiting you guys in Ohio, going to Canada, New York, Florida, Las Vegas, where there are people I know, you know.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
And maybe the easiest way to go is with Richard up there in Ohio, you know.
For sure.
And Todd Hutchins has invited me to his house, you know, and if I go to where you guys are, maybe we could drive down to where Todd lives or whatever.
Yeah, it's
but
about
I think
3 hours, not that big of a deal.
yeah, and I believe, and I was talking with Joe about this, that we want to do it, like go over there and have practice or whatever. And from Ohio to Canada, it's not that far.
Not at all.
So
No, it's
maybe
true.
maybe we can do something, you know.
I only live
And I want really,
about 4 hours from Devon, so.
Okay.
really?
Yeah, so I'm in Sudbury. I'm in Northern Ontario. We have like 5 feet of snow. No, I'm just kidding. We have a bit of snow, but like Devon, there's 4 hours south in the Ottawa region. So yeah, it's only like 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mike Gold, you guys know Mike Gold.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mike Gold only lives 3.5 hours away, which is the Toronto area. So like, yeah, there's a lot of big names in Ontario too.
For sure.
Well, maybe we can plan something where we go visit Richard and you guys up there in Ohio and that area, and we drive up to Canada, you know, and do something. And I thank you, because you've been like I feel like we've known each other for some time, and I like to call you my friends, you know, and I would like you to call me your friend, you know, and
Absolutely.
anything I can do to help you, anything I can do to help you on whatever, you just hit me up. Kevin has my phone number. I'm gonna send you my phone number, John, so you can even call me or whatever, and we can set something up or whatever, and keep this thing going, because I was telling Paul Lang the last time I spoke with him, like, there's this guy from Guatemala. His name is Jose Castillo, and he is as big as Cliff Dean. And nobody knows about him. Like, he's an arm wrestler, and nobody knows about him, and nobody in Latin America can challenge him because he's so big. And I'm saying, like, we got monsters walking amongst us, you know.
Yeah.
And nobody knows about him. And I said, maybe Castillo, if he ups his opponents and his competition, maybe he can, you know, get in East versus West or King of the Table, and maybe pull Levon or Devin or whoever. Because when I say he's as big as Cliff Dean, you know how big Cliff Dean was. You know, you know, I've seen Castillo's hands are like big, like big, like Ciplenko, like he has fingers, has Ciplenko, and a hand bigger than, like, longer. His fingers are longer. So just with that, you gotta say, like, fuck, you know.
See, I think it's big. Someone with a big frame like that will one day beat Levin.
Yeah, or high cholesterol?
Because Levin's just on a different tier of arm wrestling right now. He's just such a big human. And we've seen it in the Devin match. Like Devin tried to get as heavy as he could, but there's still like 100-and-some-pound difference. So I believe it's someone with a big frame like that that will eventually be able to compete with Levin.
Dude, I thought that Devin came into that match light. I thought he was gonna hit the 300 plus pounds, and he didn't. I don't know.
It's a lot of weight to gain. Like Devin right now, he's back to his normal freaking weight. Like you're 255 pounds. That's his frame. That's what he's comfortable at. So like him even going near the 300 point mark was a huge Devin. Like he was crazy strong. But again, someone that's I'm not sure how much Levin weighs, but like weight does.
No, I think he was 420 pounds when he pulled Devin.
Yeah, you can't
See,
compare.
that's just insanely crazy. And
I mean,
just a prime example, by weight class, I go and pull someone at 220 pounds, I'll probably get destroyed. The top guys. So just a bit of weight makes a huge difference.
well, when I remember Todd Hutchins saying that when you pull guys at this level, you got to pull them more than once to be able to go around them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that first round of the Devin and Levon match, Devin actually stopped him. And Devin started saying, I got him, I'm gonna beat him. But the thing I didn't know was that in the second round, the injury happened when he was gripping up. It wasn't when they pulled. When they said go, Devin already had tore his bicep. It was on the setup that the bicep blew up.
No
And
kidding.
that changed everything. That changed everything, you know. Devin started trying to go inside, you know, and I think Devin deserves a rematch and and even you know, go for it. But I would do it in East versus West rules, not King of the Table rules. I think I don't know why, but I feel like East versus West would benefit the sport and even put it on an even thing between Devin and Levon on the setup, you know.
Yeah.
Is there any interest shown from Devin that he wants a rematch, or you think he's done with that crazy super heavyweight?
Yeah. Actually, I don't know if Pep is still watching, but Pep put a video, I think was today. Devin talking about that. He's talking about that. He thinks he can do it again. He wants to go again.
Oh yeah. Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. I would still bet on Devin. I don't care if I lose my money. I mean,
I always bet on Devin.
Yeah, I always
with Devin. I mean, sorry.
I mean, Devin is the most important person for arm wrestling right now. And with I have had communication with Devin for years through Instagram and social media, and he knows who I am, and you know, and you know, we talk, not much, but we talk, and he has done little things to help me with this project in YouTube for Latin America. And I'm a grateful person. You know, I gotta thank him for that. And even if we go to die, I will die with Devin because he has helped me, and I gotta be grateful. You know, I gotta be grateful.
Oh yeah.
That's why I say with Devin to whatever end.
See, I didn't really talk to him often, but I just like his style on the table. I like his attitude. I like how he makes a show, and even the props to his wife. His wife goes crazy.
Dude,
and
when you are wrestling Devin,
that makes it even more
Jody
interesting.
Too.
Yeah.
Exactly, and like he probably beats guys that are way stronger than him just because he gets in their head so bad. I find it just completely freaking hilarious and really interesting to watch.
Man, you saw the Prutnik match?
Yeah.
When they say the first ready go that he took Devin down and it was a foul or something they called,
Yeah.
Jody got out of the audience and went to start screaming, the elbow on the pad, the elbow's got.
Yeah.
That shit got to. Courtney was like, you know.
So the reason Jody,
I'm wrestling Jody too. They're a team.
yeah. So the reason Jody was saying put your elbow on the pad is so it's because when they were strapping up, he kept lifting his elbow up and try to get advantage on the grip, which is a totally amateur rule. You keep your elbow on the pad when you grip. So that's the reason she went completely crazy.
Actually, I was told that on that match, the refs were told not to give fouls on the ref grip.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's why it took so long, because they were trying to set up the most fair way that they could, but they were not going to call a foul.
That's
what
why
I
he
was
kept
told.
putting his elbow up.
Yeah.
There's no foul, so might as well.
That's what I was told, that they had instructions to let them pull. You know, that
Which is what everyone
no fouls on the
wants to see,
setup
right?
or the ref grip.
No one wants to see a match end up in fouls. That's boring.
Yeah.
So I get that point.
And you see, you saw the match with Petrenko and John. That to me, that was disrespectful. You know, you go to arm wrestle, not to lift your elbow and lose by fouls. You know, and if you do it, okay, but do it. You know, wanting to do it just to get out of the match, dude, that's not cool.
Right.
So I understand maybe like I see a lot of people cheat like that. They're starting to lose. They'll lift their elbow to restart. Okay, that's understandable. You're playing within the rules, but don't lose again on purpose to get out of the match. That's done.
Yeah.
Totally done.
Like when you in the Travis Pagan era, people said that Travis didn't lose. He lose the way he wanted to lose. If he knew he can beat you, he will foul himself out or something to lose on his terms. You know, and
a sore loser.
and I know he did that to Devin a couple of times at the Mike Gould's Classic. But you know, he made a show. He made a show.
Yeah.
It wasn't, you know, but not like Petrenko did. Like Petrenko, oh, I'm losing. Dude, that's people pay to see the match, you know?
Yeah,
that shouldn't be allowed. That shouldn't be allowed. Well, I don't know, but I don't want to keep you up anymore. I know you got things to do, and tomorrow we got to work and school and kids and all that. I want to thank you for being with us tonight, and I want to tell you that I appreciate what you're doing to the sport, what you did for me, the help you have done, and the nice guys you've been with me and to this platform. And I want to have you again sometime soon, you know, to talk about anything and everything.
For sure.
Yeah,
Anytime.
It has been fun. And if you have a YouTube channel and you want to have us over there like this, we can do it. We can do it. We're here to help, you know, and keep sharing our experiences and stuff about arm wrestling. So let's call it a night. If you want to say something to the fans in Puerto Rico, you can each take a turn and leave a message, or we just close it out right now.
Yeah, I
just like you go ahead.
Go ahead, Kevin. Kevin, go first.
Yeah, I would just like the opportunity to come down to Puerto Rico at some point, and if I do, I mean, I'll pull with as many people as I can. I think it'd be an awesome opportunity.
You'll find strong guys over here, John.
So likewise, if I get the chance to go, I'd definitely like to pull a lot of people too, like arm wrestling. And I'd like to thank you personally for inviting me to your show. It's been a good night, and we thank you for thinking of me.
Dude, we've been talking for like 3 hours.
Oh, that long, eh?
It's been fun. And Pep came on, and it's been fun. I've loved it. Really, I've loved it. and people are still watching us right now. They're still watching. So I want to thank you. You guys are great, strong, and we're gonna keep working on this bonding relationship between arm wrestlers all over the world and with you guys. So have a good night. God bless you, and we'll keep in touch. John, I'm gonna send you my phone number, and you text me back just to to have our numbers. And Kevin, you already have my number.
Yep.
And maybe we can plan to do something about a specific training in the future with you guys, and maybe share with the guys from Latin America, with Galdo or Elmo, to be on with us and talk about training and arm wrestling.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Perfect.
Good night. God bless you, and have a good one, and stay safe.
All right. See you
Stay
later.
massive.
Talking to you.
See you guys.
Hi,
See you.
guys.